Hi, I'm Brian with KISSmetrics. Optimizing for conversions at a SaaS or subscription-based company can often lead to analysis paralysis. What do you track? Do you track new signups? What about after the signup? What about revenue? What about churn? What about finding out if your users are actually using your product or not? The first thing you need to do is just to slow down. I've found that the most valuable skill you can bring to your team is to determine what level of analysis is needed to solve the problem. When I'm reporting back to my team, the first thing I do is to break down the situation using 3 specific techniques. Today, I'm going to share those techniques with you. So let's get going. Technique number 1, the spot check. A spot check is short and easy. Not very much analysis is needed in the typical spot check. This is more of a pulling of the numbers where the metrics are fairly self-explanatory. I can shoot these numbers over in a chat or via email with a screenshot. The typical spot check is easily found inside of your analytics dashboard with no querying needed. Let's look at a few examples of what this looks like. One example would be we want to know the adoption rate for a new feature that just launched. Or we want to know the engagement rate for an existing feature because we're designing a new layout for it and we want to get baseline metrics. Since we're using KISSmetrics throughout the company, this spot checking is actually democratized so that anyone can do a spot check for any metric they're interested in. It's one less point of failure for us to worry about, and there are no bottlenecks for getting the things we need to check in on a weekly or daily basis. Technique number 2, the lookup. The lookup is probably the most common analysis I do. It's pretty run-of-the-mill and something that looks very routine to most marketers. So let's look at a few examples. One example would be looking at our new pricing conversion rates by traffic source. Do customers on new pricing plans on certain traffic sources have higher retention rates? Or another would be, what's the average number of times a feature was used per person? Are certain plan levels, business models, or industries more engaged than others? Or another example would be, are our support tickets and documentation helping to reduce the number of tickets we see per week? Which articles are trending? Are people searching for articles that we currently don't have? It can be very easy to ask even more questions. You may have noticed that my questions started trailing into even longer questions, and this is where the danger of analysis paralysis starts. The data here needs to not only be retrieved, but also provided with some notes or comments to help explain what's going on. It may or may not come with recommendations. The funnel report shows me how well my new pricing page is doing by traffic source. I leave these reports more open-ended so the team can decide how best to execute on them. I usually send these via email and also input them into our internal wiki. It usually takes anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes to do this. Technique number 3, the deep dive. Deep dives are needed with major initiatives like feature overhauls or funnel redesigns. The first thing I do in a deep dive is to plot the important metrics and how they're performing for everyone. The first order of business is to establish a baseline, and this could be the one metric you want to improve or 2 to 3 metrics that are part of a greater flow. A few examples would be trial conversion rate, upgrade conversion rates, average revenue per person. This report can let me compare multiple metric performance levels for each experiment I'm running. Being locked into only a new signups metric can tunnel your vision. If I had to choose one, revenue is usually a bigger driver of subscription services in e-commerce. For mobile apps, content, and social sites, it's more engagement. By plotting week over week data, I'm able to see that I'm optimizing my sign-up conversion rates by incremental percentage points at the cost of decreasing my upgrade conversion rate and average revenue per person. This is an early warning sign that my tests are not having a positive impact on my business. The majority of the work in the deep dive is actually in figuring out which metrics to track, how to best improve those metrics, and then walking away with actionable recommendations. These reports take anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes to pull. The part that takes the longest is actually involving my teammates and stakeholders in implementing those changes. So next time you have a problem in front of you, ask yourself what you need to find out and how deeply you need to dive in order to find the answer to that problem. You'll find yourself finding the data quicker and making better decisions as a result, and your team will thank you. All right, that's it for this week. Until next time, happy analyticing.